Good afternoon, Planeswalkers. Welcome back to Another Mulligan. With you again, it's me, L.
And I'm Pigeon.
So today we're going to be starting into one of the more interesting parts of our series, and that's what you do with the lands. Previously we've discussed what the parts of a card are, what lands are, and now we're going to start into the meat of it. So starting off with the meatiest part is going to be creatures. Well, for a while.
Just creatures for a while. Creatures for a while, yeah. So a creature obviously is, it's the core thing in Magic. It's what you use to do damage, to get that damage out there. And later on we're going to talk about other things that do damage as well, but nothing is more raw in Magic the Gathering about doing damage than creatures.
So later on we will be doing a deck that's just creatures and lands. It's going to be really funky and really fun, and it's going to help you guys figure out how all of this lays out and how it looks. But for now, let's just rewind and go back to the creatures. So, hey guys. So real quick before we get started, somehow we missed this in the original take of this video. But I just want you to understand, creatures can only be played during your main phases. So, real quick, unless it has flash, creatures can only be played during your main phases. Alright, thanks. Back to the regularly scheduled stuff. Just like every card is going to have the name in the top corner, the mana cost in another one. So the card that we're going to use is one that highlights a lot of the parts of different creatures that you'll come in contact with. So it's got an initial mana cost, it's got the creature name, this one has a sub-creature type, has a static ability, a triggered ability, and an activated ability. So we'll be going into the details of that. Now, the creature is Niv-Mizzet. Now, it is a creature, it's a dragon wizard. The subtype, that would be the subtype.
Yeah, the card type is a legendary creature. The subtype is going to be Dragon Wizard.
So what it's called, so other cards you might see like Elf Shaman or Goblin Warrior, things like that, that's going to be the subtype.
Sometimes they are only one word.
Yes. So with this, what you need to know, what's important about that part is that it is a legendary. So any card that you see out on the battlefield that is under your control, you cannot have two or more of this legendary type. So I can put one Niv-Mizzet out, but if I'm holding another one in my hand, I need to wait for that one to die before I can play it. Or sacrifice it. You know, there's some fun stuff you can do with that too. But that goes across the board for any card type. So if you're playing any of the things that we'll be going over later, like enchants and basically enchants.
Yeah, enchantments really enchantments, artifacts, and creatures are generally the only things that have the legendary title on them as well.
Right, anything that kind of sits on the battlefield like that will possibly have that. But again, like we said before, don't play another one of the same one on your battlefield. Your opponent, however, can play Niv-Mizzet as well if you have one out. That's not going to affect anything. Okay, so that would be really good in like the Golgari styles and zombie ones. There's cards that you can play out of your graveyard, and it's really weird sounding at first, but when you get into it, it's fun and it's risky and you don't care if something dies. But back to the main point. Niv-Mizzet is a legendary creature. He's a dragon wizard. Now, right underneath that, you'll see a static ability. Now, what a static ability is something that just is. It is, this creature does this no matter what. So that can be things called trample, it could be vigilance, it could be flying in this case. So no matter what, this creature has that effect.
Now, there's also static abilities. Static abilities, wait, they use whatever static abilities. There's also triggered abilities. triggered abilities happen whenever another action on the battlefield
Occurs.
occurs and causes the ability to trigger. For example, Niv Mizzet has whenever Niv Mizzet deals damage to a player, you may draw a card. So anytime that creature deals damage to a player, right? It says player.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anytime it deals damage to a player, you need to draw a card.
Yeah, and that's the triggered ability, because if the only way to stop that trigger is to block it with another creature that has flying. Since its static ability says that it's flying, you can't block it with something on the ground unless its static ability on your blocking creature says reach, which sounds like a lot. But we'll put some images there that way you kind of feel that out.
We'll also have a link in the description to the official rulings for flying and anything like that. That'll be a lot easier.
That can clear up some of the gunk. There'll be some other wordings that may be coming later on for you guys to learn about, but it'll give you a good bearing on what's going on with the situation. But like I was saying, that triggered ability can be stopped if you block it with a creature. That means that that creature's flying at you as the player or planeswalker, and you can take your creature, put it in front of you essentially, and go, I don't think so. So you don't have to let the other person draw a card, and you don't have to take the damage. That's the point of declaring blockers and attackers and mob, which will come later.
Yeah, and we'll go over combat phase and the different phases.
Now, the next thing is an activated ability. So an activated ability means that you can do something, you have control over this ability essentially. So it's not like the triggered ability. There's some triggered abilities where it's like if you play nothing, it flips. But this is something you have control over. With Niv Mizzet, you can play or pay a blue and a red mana to cause Niv Mizzet to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Now this helps the prior mentioned ability too, and a lot of the cards work together like this as synergy. But with this one, it's, again, if you have the mana available, you can go ahead and pay for it to do 1 damage to the player. And that's what I would do. That way you can constantly ping that player and draw more cards, and it's just awesome.
And now the thing with activated abilities is that you can use them anytime that you'd be able to use an instant. And again, that's gonna come in more whenever we do our phases and everything. We'll go over that as well, and we'll go over that with instants. But unless otherwise specified, use them whenever you can with instants.
Now, again, we're gonna go over the power, the toughness. That's in the bottom corner. Niv Mizzet is a 5/5. Yeah, he's pretty beefy, and he flies, but I mean, and he's got all these other effects, so the mana is going to reflect that. He costs 2 blues, and 2 reds, so that is a 6 converted mana cost creature to get out there.
Wow, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, so you're paying for what you get, but it's actually really cheap considering what all it does. So I mean, that being said, this creature can take a lot of damage, do a lot of damage, and be a threat to the battlefield at any time, which you have to keep in mind that when you play creatures like this, you become target number 1. People want you out. It's just how it goes. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that about wraps it up for our coverage of creatures. If you have any questions, any suggestions, let us know in the comments. You know, we read the comments all the time. We love it. We love when you guys give us feedback. I think we're tapped out.
Yeah, I think we are. We're tapped out. So until our next upkeep, everyone, you guys stay awesome, Planeswalkers.